Flat Earth British, Martin speaking. Hi guys, welcome to Flat Earth British Christmas Eve vlog. This is going to be epic and you're going to have an awesome time. This is my Christmas treat to you all, okay, for subscription, your loyalty, your support and everything we've been through this year, okay, this is going to be awesome, okay, so I'm going to make a good effort to make it fun for you all, okay, for your Christmas. So everything that you'll see in this blog will be linked and it's all juice, okay, and a new avenue of inquiry that blew my mind, okay, why the penny never dropped earlier, but I've been busy. Now guys, welcome. If you're new to my channel, welcome, okay. It is baffling, I agree, some of it, but it is a story that has been ongoing, okay, for a couple of years now, this sort of field, and it's been real-time discovery. We'll catch up, okay, and I will round all the information off in the next couple of weeks, let you know where we're at, okay, because next year, can you imagine how much we're going to shift the paradigm further? Yeah, January, okay, will be literally monumental for information, okay, everything will change again. And it's a very exciting thing, okay. So what we're going to look into in this vlog, guys, is atmospheric electricity and more being used by Admiralty in the UK, okay. Rule Britannia, Britannia rules the waves. Britain shall never ever be slain. No, I wonder why that would be. And I suppose if you think about the fact that all of these buildings, these old world buildings, are harnessing some kinds of technologies, aka atmospheric electricity gathering, resonance technologies, technosmia, etc., cymatics technologies, etc., and more besides, okay, including with star thoughts, everything else. If you don't know about them, it's all on my channel, and the channels will be linked below, okay. Now I'm going to give you a little narrative now concerning the Royal Navy, and they are definitely, this is a field we never really thought about, is the sea. I haven't really. I've covered Brunel, but never really thought, which is unusual because I'm ex-merchant navy. But a link come concerning yesterday's, my last post, I showed a ship in Constantinople, somewhere in the 1600s, and it seems to be running on atmospheric electricity because there are masts with nowhere to hold a sail, so they're working on something else, okay. So this is how this inquiry started and this discoveries, okay. Now the Royal Navy is swapping their ships around so you don't identify them is the first thing, okay. It's really strange why they're putting other photographs in for certain ships when they're obviously not them. For the later in this post, then I'm going to overwhelmingly show you that there has been a worldwide conspiracy to cover up our past. All of them are in it. They're not enemies. They're all in the same club. Let's look at the Navy. Let's look at Trafalgar. Okay. So Nelson, with his one eye, okay, and his one arm, he goes into the Battle of Trafalgar with his 33 ships. Come on, people. This is a yarn. All of it, including the Royal Navy. Now, we had the biggest navy in the world, and this is why we were so invincible, apparently. Tell that to the Dutch when they come up Chatham Docks. They keep that out of the history books conveniently. The British, don't they? The only place where there is a star fort in London. Coincidence? I think not. Tilbury, maybe 2 miles away. I think it's connected. So let's get stuck in. I've got a few whammy books in here which are literally, holy hell, what am I reading books? This is just mind-blowing. A book on atmospheric electricity gathering in the Victorian era. I'm not even joking. It's just mind-blowing. We're going to take you up to images of the day, but we're going to look into buildings that are half up, half down. Mud flooders, okay? And food for thought, loads of things that I've been thinking about. How does all this information come to me? I think, like, I have visions in my night when I'm trying to go to sleep. Little snippets, and I just piece them together while I'm going to sleep, and then by the time I wake up I've worked it all out. Really weird. Anyway, and the synchronicities from you guys is just magical. So you ready? If you're in chat now, which you are, please share this out, like, and anything else. Look at this, guys. It's a book I picked up in a chat. It's a World War II cartoon try. So it's the usual sort of thing. It's satirical comedy. Really cool. You know, funnies. Check this out. It's all analogous for electromagnetic machinery. There's a fasces there on a soldier. Just a symbol. So let's get underway. So thank you for everything, support, thank you for your subscription, and let's take this into places that YouTube never even expected. Okay, this is what happens when you like don't do bullshit rules. Now buckle in, people, buckle in. So British Royal Navy, and a ship, in specifically a ship called H.M.S Defiance, and there's been a few of her, like there's been a few Royal Oaks, and they replicate these ships, but this one in particular, alarm bells started ringing, and I got a few photos sent in from a sub, pieced it a bit together, and this thing is highly technologically advanced, and they got rid of them all. I'll show you now, and I'll tie it all in. Okay, so enjoy. Flag of British. Now, across the plane, okay, across the plane, people are being really excited by Flat Earth British's Christmas vlog. They heard all about it, including the animal kingdom. This little fella, he's running home as quick as he can. He's going, Ma'am, can you put Flat Earth British on? Can you put Flat Earth British on? Oh, you got a Christmas special, he's got a Christmas special, I'm so excited. Sort of thing, because he's a little Nelly front. Not really big on his sneakers, but yeah, or whatever. So he's awfully excited, or maybe she is awfully excited, but either way, the whole animal kingdom, and this is true, okay, apparently is celebrating today. This is Rory the cat, and he's up on his table, and Beyonce's playing. Yeah. So he's doing a Beyonce dance on his table. Well, Pat's out the way. Rory, knock yourself out, boy. I know. So, on that note, a lot of people contacted me in my comments saying, you need to dump Flat Earth British in your title. They say that I would be really famous if I dumped my Flat Earth British as a put-off. They say that it's stopped me looking for the longest time because you have Flat Earth British in a title till Max mentioned you. Is that right? So I had a little think about it, I did, guys, and I thought to myself, okay, right. For the new year, I thought, look at Prince, for example. You know, he's pretending to be dead, changed his name from a formerly artist known formerly as Prince to the sign, a sigil, really strange. So artists do it, sort of thing. So now I want to be referred to in the new year as Banana Earth British, please. So it's B-E-B. B-E-B will be my new thing. Okay, so it's going to be Banana Earth British. Okay, do you like that? But not really. Okay, Flat Earth British. Now, if you any confusion as to the globe being an evil thing, okay, you need to think on. Okay, I've picked up overwhelming evidence the globe is evil. Now, that man's not aiming that globe at that child. That globe went there of its own will. How do you feel now? Yeah, no. It's not right, people. It's just not right. But having said that, echoing what Max Egan said in his last post, okay, it is bullshit to be arguing, okay, truth for community, really thinking about it, because we're not retards, okay? We just don't trust what's presented to us, and we just don't fucking buy any of it, okay? Watery balls to us is just insanity. Think about it, really, really. Look into it, do some research. Do 4 years research and years before and find out where you arrive at. So, and they're evil, okay? But in token of seasonal spirit, this is what I would like to... Oh, excuse me. This is what I was actually thinking. Was more... not that. My brain is in line with this. So us being, I come through strong, flat earthers, being Neil, okay, and globe earthers being Smith, right? We're going to draw the line like they're up there, okay, and we're going to get on together, and we're going to talk about things, and we're going to find out what the hell is going on. Otherwise, we're just going to chase our tails and get nowhere, I'm afraid, okay? I do not entrench. Okay, don't become stagnant, otherwise what's the bloody point? Okay, so this is silly sausage. I really do think we need to grow up. Now we found out what we have been finding out, guys, don't you? Yeah, I think so too. Okay, that's my love message and my olive branch, okay, which I'm always waving anyway. Information ships, guys. I've always been suspicious of ships being harnessing atmospheric electricity, which I've thought about loads. Also, I think about balloons and dirigibles quite a bit as a mode for transport in antiquity, but they are harnessing some sort of energy in antiquity. So this is out of an old book, I suppose 14th, 15th century, 16th even, but it's got on a raft what looks like a resonator and what looks like a modern day television type of aerial setup, and resonators, if you could think what else these could be used for when we actually know what these things are used for. And as you can see, what look like superconductors. Okay, these rafts are, I suppose, moored out. Maybe it's the 5G of the time, but this 5G technology is linked in. This is a book from Antiquity, obviously, but as you can see, they got these installations and these masts and these energy gatherers with what looks like exactly like a Tesla tower on top. Tesla tower to a sort of Grand Van de Graaff generator. It all works on magnetism and resonation, and this underground installation is connected up to a river in antiquity. Okay, so they're doing it. It's been there all along. It's just been kept out now, unfortunately. Okay, so my suspicion has been that all along there was more going on. I can see him rowing, okay, but this is a resonator. There's more going on, okay, and I think this was going on too. I think that the airships, them steampunk ships you see on my channel, are used in antiquity. Alright, I'm going to show you maybe a dozen images in this post, guys, all from an aerial perspective, and a link to a website just up by here which will give you aerial perspectives of every American major city in early Victorian era. Massive clues, especially when they're not supposed to have the stone and these things are already in situ. Very, very big clue in that link. So I think this was going on. Okay, I think they're using really strange dirigibles. I've got different evidences. This is some sort of steam power. And the reason they keep it out of the narrative is because it would explain how the American city fires have all happened through incendiaries and energy weapons from above. Okay, and also they used the Hindenburg disaster as a psyop to get balloons out of the air. So we didn't go with them, we went with airplanes instead. Plus balloons kill Coriolis. Bullshittery. So H.M.S Defiance is there, and she's in Devonport, and she's a training ship. Okay, she's apparently the biggest, longest wooden ship ever constructed, and she was never used in battle, apparently. And she's there in Devonport, okay, in Cornwall. This place is massive. I used to go over this bridge, one of Brunel's bridges here, and you could see all the naval ships. But it was a torpedo training ship. Now apparently this thing was kitted out with lights, electric lights from get-go, and more besides. But when you like sort of look for this thing online, they give you different photographs for the same ship. It's really strange. So we got one mast, a roof, and 2 chimneys, and we got maybe 2 decks painted white, but 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 cannon decks. This thing was one of the biggest, longest ship ever constructed, and was one of the mightiest, yet it was never used. Now, other photographs of her in Devonport. So this is TS Cambridge, but she's also a training ship, and she's got 1, 2, 3, 4, same 4 decks, so maybe they painted 2, and she's got a roof. She's got 1, 2, 3, 4 very strange looking masts, not for sails. This one maybe, but not this forward one. So there's no, excuse me, there's no yard arm, you see, and a roof. So this is the training ship, TS Cambridge, it says. Okay, yet you look for HMS excuse me, Defiance, and there she is. Again, you can see 1, 2, 3 white painted decks. Maybe she's in ballast, but what you see is this thing here. Okay, so she's got 3. Okay, this is earlier again. 3 masts. So she's sailing, but this. You see this? Turns out that this ship was the first electrically powered screw ship ever created in humanity. So they say. But this bit here, something was removed, possibly. Okay? So, very strange how they're swapping the ships around. Okay, because this is Devonport again. And this one, Devonport Torpedo School. So there she is. You can verify this is her. She's got a roof, 2 chimneys, and the 1 mast, and 2 painted decks. 3 painted decks, 2 sails, 3 masts, more decks. That's the Cambridge. Why are they juggling them all around and saying it's the same one? I do not know. But prior to the commissioning of H.M.S Defiance in 1884 for service as Royal Navy Devonport Torpedo School, the Navy's first torpedo school had been set up by the, excuse me, I need a drink, set up on H.M.S Vernon in Portsmouth in 1876. Only a limited amount of instruction had been given to the torpedo warfare at Devonport by torpedo lieutenants on board the Perseus, which had been attached to the Cambridge Gunnery School for those days. So that other ship I just showed you was a gunnery school. So this Defiance is there, okay. So look what she's got on board. The new torpedo school, Defiance, was early part of 1886, moored in the Lena estuary off of, excuse me, Weird Key in Cornwall. The Perseus, which was moored close to Cambridge, was moored and connected to the Defiance. So they're side by side. Oh yes, I can see one in front, one behind. Gotcha. She's a lot smaller than the Cambridge. The new torpedo school, Defiance, was was moved and connected to the Defiance by a bridge. Defiance had lecture rooms built on the upper deck, which completely housed in, and the work part of the deck was used as a gymnasium, while the bows were ratings laboratories. On the main deck, aft, were officers' accommodations. Over the years, it was extended forward, and more officers' courses were run towards the bows and the galleys and the dining rooms. Now let's get down to by here. The cockpit of the old line of battleship. Looked into the class that she is. This is a whole new science of warship at the time. So below deck was recreation rooms, which had 2 boilers, a dynamo, so that would be electric, an air compressor plant was installed with a small workshop. So she had dynamos because she was fully electric. She was the first fully electric ship apparently in the Royal Navy. Okay, well, it doesn't say it here when you Google it. Now, the Perseus was used almost entirely for training in mine warfare. Okay, and had difficulty to assemble and disassemble mines to launch and recover them. The H.M.S Defiance had a number of tenders, including gunboat Scourge, which had fitted with 18 aluminium torpedo tubes. Only one was in service. 2 torpedo boats, which are in the picture above. So, I think I'll leave it at that. So, it would appear that this ship has got a lot more going on than the British fleet would let the British Admiralty would let you know. Okay, she's completely fitted out with electricity and more, and a new type of warfare, which got me thinking about the other biggest ship of the era, Brunel's Great Eastern. Right, it's all tied into the story. This guy's a Freemason. Okay, he does his hand in here all the time. Okay, he's Brunel. I've already posted about this guy being a psyop, guys, in a cover story. Any one of theirs, okay, is bullshit. This guy, okay, he's attributed to the Clifton Suspension Bridge, okay, just cause, but he didn't design it. Okay, didn't even build it really. Picked up on it. It's just the name. It's like having the name, you know, of a big building company now and not being attributed to it, like Lang or something, you know. So this thing had to be the business of Antiquitech, okay? She's the biggest steel ship ever made, and she's going to go across the Atlantic. She does a couple of voyages. They don't use it anymore because they say it's not cost effective on the coal. Okay, that's what they say. It's bullshit, because they could have used cargo to make the money up. Anyway, so she spends the rest of her life resting on the banks of the River Mersey in Liverpool. She rots away and rusted and just disappears out of our reality. The biggest, greatest ship ever. And the fuss to get this thing in the Thames in the first place is absolutely nuts. The size of the engines, everything about this was a monumental feat. So as you can see, Brunel, on his chains, this is supposed to be one of the last photographs ever taken before he goes around the corner and he has some sort of coronary arrest or something, because he's, like, according to the official or one of the narratives, riddled with syphilis. Okay, so he used these massive chains that are trying to get the Eastern into the river. I don't even look like it's there. So obviously, if they go into all of this humongous effort, this ship was kitted out with atmospheric electricity, I believe. Okay, Jesus, look at that. Okay, so if they got it in antiquity, like I just showed you in them old photos, it's safe to presume that these things had them, and the luxury just to do 2 or 3 voyages across the Atlantic and then be used by Admiralty as the ship that lays the transatlantic cable lines that are giving us our communications today. I shit you not, that's what they used it for. There's pictures of it. So she's sail and she's a steam paddler with the biggest engines ever created at the time. Here he is, Brunel, Freemason, and telling you that it's all bullshit. It's their code. Now, I'm not saying a thing didn't exist, but the story is really weird, and well, I wasn't there. So they build her here on the banks of the Thames, and the duck boards are here, and then they try and slide her in with these chains, but it's like, here's the Thames here, what's left of the slipway, and it would have looked like that at the end of the street if you were in Millwall. She was that big. So I think it was safe to assume, if they had it in antiquity, that these things definitely had them. So she lays the first transatlantic. So that's the 3 greatest ships. The SS Great Britain, which is still alive. She's in Bristol docks. You can visit her. The Great Western, also alive. And the SS Great Britain, or the PSS, which is dead because they let her rot. and scrapped her for some weird reason. Look at this, guys. Biggest ship in the world. She ends up rotted. Oh, Haberdin Milford, she came here to Wales, 1870s. So that's 20 years after her sailing to that. So where somebody was I'm going to talk about mud after this little bit a minute. I'm looking for more evidence of Royal Navy F-Uri, because they do. The size of these things. Is that a photograph? So yeah, from greatest steamship that ever graced the waves to a rotting carcass only a short time later. It's just the same as the MO as the buildings, and I'm going to give you overwhelming evidence to tell you, show you. If the penny don't drop after this video, we will. They're all in it together. The history they give us is bullshit. I don't trust this either. So I believe that this was using atmospheric electricity. That other ship, the greatest wooden ship, has dynamos. It's electric power, first electrically lit ship. So they say. And more. Yet she can't lay mines. She's gone now, etc, etc. So this is this gantry system electric that they built. It was designed by Isambard Kingdom Brunel, and it was for laying. No, I don't believe that Isambard Kingdom Brunel, being apparently this great engineer, would have the. I don't think he could have done this sort of advanced stuff. So it's a cable laying machinery on the deck of the SS Great Britain in 1867, and this is what laid it apparently on the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean, connecting the US with Europe. And the first call made by telegraph was from the Titanic sinking, and another bullshit, one of their Masonic psyops. Isn't it strange that they're all tied in? Anything official narrative is all them. So there's the SS the Great Eastern, and the SS Great Britain coming into New York Harbour. So yeah, atmospheric ships in antiquity. And H.M.S Defiance having electric, being a wooden old ship. Years before any bullshit official narrative of Edison, electricity, etc. Okay, we're moving on. Now this is a book that was a whammy. I can't go through it all. Look for it for yourself. Astra Castra, Experiments and Adventures in Atmospheric and atmospheric electricity gathering and more. It's just a crazy study, and should have time-stamped a few pages actually, but the experiments go into just stuff that you didn't know existed, guys, because it's 1865. Okay, look on Google and look at the official narratives for this sort of stuff. Okay, so it goes into quite detailed. It's just absolutely mind-blowing actually, all of it. It's a holy hell book. I've not read it all, guys, I haven't got the time, but what I have read is just, oh god, blown my mind. Excuse me. So happy Christmas all, if that's your thing. So, not that I know what that's related to, but I was just trying to pick something up for you. So it's self-explanatory, guys. I'm not going to look at it all, but it's experiments in atmospheric phenomena, and it'll give you the allegorical version as well by the look of it, but for that period it's just absolutely crazy, guys. Okay, depictions are stunning. It would seem a lot of these sort of sonnety type things in different languages. Let's move on. Normal clairvoyance and poets, that's why. Poets and imagination. Oh, awesome. This is going to be a hell of a read for you guys. Oh, first balloon across the channel. I bet it was static electricity powered. Aerostat, it was. Oh, shitski, guys. Look, 1784. Aerostat experiments made in February and March 1784. First balloon crossed the channel. Anybody know about this? Taught this in school? And it was launched from Sandwich in Kent on Friday the 22nd of February 1784, and it was an inflatable air balloon 5 feet in diameter, which let loose 12:30 to present too many spectators. The balloon rose rapidly, carried over the sea by the wind, and it went west by north. In the direction of the balloon was east by south. It was found 3 o'clock near a field in Warrington, and there was a ticket tied to the balloon, requested an account to the placeholders. It was an aerostat anyway. Aerostatic. Okay. Static electricity. 1700s. So another official bullshit narrative squashed right here, right now. How this book is even out here, but it's endless. Nearly every single page squishes the official narrative. Aerostats in the late 1700s I've known about all along. I've posted about them all along. This should be interesting. Napoleon Bonaparte tech. And a conversation at St. Helena. Oh, flipping hell, guys. This is going to be important stuff. We have more time. Stunning. So do dig in over Christmas. If you find something really interesting in this book, please send it to me, martinliedtke7@gmail.com, and we'll bring it up. Okay, I'm not done with this book. Okay, I'm not done with it. Okay, what one page I've pulled up squishes official paradigm. All it does. We move on. Now, I want to talk about events again. Okay, and I want to nail it home. Only one government or one organisation, right? It could be the Jesuits, the Catholics, whoever, but I think they are all just bitches for something else. Controllers, off pond if you like, off world controllers. No, not on this terror. They're out there somewhere, don't they? Who knows? Up there, who knows? But I think this is what's going on. Okay, it's encoded in our reality right the way through. We can't see them, they can see us. Okay, now aerials in the background, etc. And this is Dresden. Now, I've talked about it on my vlogs, and I'm never going to leave it alone. Okay, I'm not. This city was one of the beautifulest Antiquitech cities you'll ever see. Tartarian, if you want to call it that. It was absolutely the best. The place was a haven for civilians when the RAF and the United States bombed it. The Allies bombed it in World War II, to liquefying it, to destroying this place. Okay, and what is there is Antiquitech. This is what's going on. The wars are to get rid of antiquity. They burn the cities out. The expositions are put in their place. Something big going on with that. They're destroyed, and I'll give you across the entire place from Sydney to America, right the way back again. Okay, this is happening, and it's exactly the same architecture and exactly the same MO, to the spookiest level you will ever imagine. If you look into it for yourself, you will see this is far, far, far too many, all of them. And what does it all achieve? It gets rid of masonry, which isn't easy to get rid of with conventional fire. Gut it? Yeah, stones crumbling with a bit of fire. It's not that much wood inside them, guys. No, this looks like it's been incinerated. Okay, this is nut stuff, unless I'm bombing it directly. But pigs or farming, are they pigs or sheep or something? Sheep. Dresden. It's just like the worst tragedy of World War II. That was disgusting. Bomber Alice didn't want to do it, but I don't believe the official narratives anyway. It was just getting rid of this architecture. As you can see, streets are clear, everything is in dust. If things are being exploded apart, they exploded apart by nature, but what you're finding is the same MO as what we usually get. I think that's somewhere else. But the devastation of Germany in World War II is just insane. It's just insane. And it's getting rid of what? An old world before everybody bloody sees it the next time round, eh? We all weren't exactly the same, guys. But Dresden, it's too much. And if you see pictures of Dresden before the bombing, it's just insane, guys. It's the most beautiful city imaginable. Not much left now. Excuse me. They've rebuilt it all now to its former glory, I believe. Well, never to its former glory. It's not unusual. But there you are, there's your evidence. So it's this old world again. Same statues. The age on this stone. When was this put down? It's that culture again. And this deliberate effort to take it out. Its history, who they were, where they're gone. And who built these things. They're just thieves. Like, they just come along and say that we built them. Oh, we're so great. Pat one another on the back for these buildings here. They never built them, guys. The nobility are they're too fucking lazy for one thing. Put their hands in their fucking pockets. They didn't do it. Okay, they didn't build any of this. They just steal it every time. Socially condition the masses so that they're epically dumb to all of it. They wouldn't even enter their minds, guys, that any of this was going on. These devices. It's Dresden there before the war. All of this specific style of architecture. Look at it. It's absolutely beautiful. And every single bit of it was gone. I bet there was some joys that they bloody destroyed, eh? Excuse me, glitched it up. So, we're moving on. I want to just show you something connected with this, if I could. So, the point is they're in the air as well. And they're obviously at this stage, but I mean earlier, when you see these American city fires in the mid-1800s, like San Francisco in turn of the century, and the one before, and all the other cities too, is just Rembrandt. So they're just getting rid of architecture. The people don't even come into it, guys. Not many were in Dresden. So this one is Chicago. It's the same MO. It's exactly identical, same architecture. So, like I just showed you, these things are still standing. The stone still stands, but everything inside is gutted. But I can assure you these things were gone later. But the heat crumbles the stones. The roads are clear. The trees, oh no, they don't get harmed. And the lamppost, the telegraph pole, no, that doesn't get harmed. Everything is absolutely fine. Okay, it's very selective heat. Is this sort of this is in the Bronx. Bronx is a lot older, as in many parts of America. Hell's Kitchen, all of these, they knock it all down. When were these exactly built? That every single one of them are mud flooders. So Bronx, exactly the same story, an older civilization. Harlem, exactly the same. How do we know we weren't there? But they are old. Again, excuse me. This is a crazy document. It's not really connected with it. I should have put it back here, but that is needed for this post. Excuse me, guys. Sorry, that's Chicago, the Bronx, and Copenhagen, as above, so below. Half up, half down. No, I love Copenhagen. I went to Kristiansand land, or whatever it is, but it was a load of hippies in Copenhagen, and they bought the entire area. It was like a little Amsterdam. I was in my element. And I love Denmark anyway. I've got some friends in Denmark, and I got friends everywhere. But as you can see, they go into why these buildings, official narrative wise, are half up, half down into the ground, what we call mud flooders. Obviously it's bullshit, but let's see what the official narrative makes as an excuse, shall we? Many of the historic buildings, houses, excuse me, too many, of the apartment buildings in Copenhagen that date from the 19th and early 20th century don't have a ground floor. They have a ground floor, you mean rooms at the level of a ground. Walking around a city, you can see many buildings have two separate entrances from street level. It's the same everywhere, guys. The main doorway with steps up to the doorway and steps down into a shop or workroom lit by windows. Okay, that have their sills and levels of the pavement. Now, people sitting inside in those lower rooms are looking out at the ankles of people walking along on a pavement. Does that ring true? It's really strange as thinking, isn't it? In books of architecture, this is often described as raising ground floors over a half basement. A full basement has a ceiling of about ground level. Okay, this is their bullshit. Make an excuse for it all, but at least it's been approached and somebody's noticed outside of this. Okay, footnote aside, I'll carry on with this now. I had an email from a doctor, a German doctor, and he's a doctor in engineering and architecture. And he is doing a PhD thesis on this subject. And he asked me if he could use our channel, Flat Earth British, as a source for his doctorate, for his PhD thesis. So just to reiterate that, guys, Flat Earth British subjects are being used as a PhD thesis. I know. So, yeah, it's cool, isn't it? But there'll be more on that, guys. It's just good to have architects that are in our camp. Okay, if architects the alarm bells are ringing and are really into this. Okay, and like Copenhagen examples, these buildings are often set back from the pavement, sunk open area behind railings, and with a full sight of steps down from the street for delivery goods. Copenhagen examples seem to be commercial space rather than domestic kitchens or service rooms or such as pantries and so on. Okay, so that's the reason. Now, people have been in my mail saying that there was a thing going on with landlords for damp and cheap rent, etc. with these lower basements. I understand all that, but guys, architects know this is bullshit. You do not build a lower level, and there's lower levels below them, to look at a brick wall. Okay, it's about light. Light is health. Okay, they're not going to keep down dingy black frigging basements. Makes no sense. Okay, common sense, guys. Something else is going on, or something big. Okay, and that's a definite no. So, the bullshit reasons for why they are below street level. Most Copenhagen buildings are half basement, are directly into the street. In fact, most of the steps come up from the basement rooms, cut outwards straight onto the pavement, like so. So that's their excuse. Straight out of the door, little doorway like that, and you've got to step up to a perfect mud flooder, and that one's 1892. A bit late to have that over the door, but it's only a bit of cardboard. Presumably, this form of building in Copenhagen with a half basement is a practical solution to fit as many people as many functions as possible into a restricted plot that it was. Like they say with the Dutch houses in Amsterdam. Up they go, narrow. Well, maybe, but no. Until the 1870s, a constricted density built up urban area, and it also reflects the normal, because everyone bloody arrived at that area at that time. There was no one before. Cities were empty. Okay, basements, rooms and workshops in courtyards to the backs of the property, and often reached by a wide arch that cats could go through. Giants. So that's their reasons, which makes no sense to me whatsoever. But that's just this capital, and it's every single European city and across the pond and everywhere else, which I will show you right now. What the bloody hell are they? So that makes no sense. I'm not going with that. Look at the Antiquitech device on the roof of these beautiful buildings. Half up, half down. So that's a feeble excuse, guys, wouldn't you say? Yeah, well that's it then, innit? Yeah. What's this? Alteration to these lower half basements is a significant loss because they change beyond recognition historical buildings in the city and remove physical evidence of lost trades and business. So Copenhagen, beautiful Copenhagen, friendly old fish from the sea. She's a shady light. And some of the most beautifulest women in the world. Although I do say that for every single city, but there you go. I should say people. There you go. So, more evidence of Antiquitech use. This is a great expositions in Paris, but this is the earlier one, the early 1600s, and they're using the Chinese style pagoda setup, as you can see. Okay, but I've got more of these. I've got a beautiful collection of Paris exposition photographs that I've been sat on for a while. I only found them again last night. I thought, oh, them, wow, present them. So everything you see linked here will be linked up. We move on to more of this evidence of everywhere in the world. It's happening in Toronto. Nothing left after this one was touched, but look at this, guys. This is like a big whammy. The story behind Toronto's old city hall, obviously destroyed, they do. She was a massive red granite mud flooder. Toronto's old city hall, okay. Designed by Lenox, the largest city hall in North America, and also one of the tallest buildings in Canada. But the story is alarming because it doesn't ring true in the mind, and when you know it from this narrative, what we go by, all makes sense. As in, built, dates don't fit, nothing being built, can't see no photos, destroyed, gone, everything, you know. At one time, Old City Hall was the most powerful political symbol in Toronto. Today, the early 19th century building still looms in Bay Street. Let's have a look at it. Oh, she's still there. Goody, good. Okay. She's still there in which street? Bay Street. Dominating fewer surrounding structures of glass and steel. Back in the 1960s, the future seemed uncertain for it once again. Nevertheless, the old City Hall has served our city well. Toronto's population in 1800, then the town of York, was only 500 in 1800. And by 1900, 250,000. Who's building all this shit then, guys? 500. At the time, we need to show the world that we are no longer a backwater colonial outpost, rather a colossal economic engine that could fuel the British Empire. So there she is. She's a big building, all right. They all are. They're all like nuke-proof if they existed, but you know what I mean. They're all solid. So, Toronto City Hall at the end of the 19th century was jammed and cramped. City Hall front and Jarvis. So, in the 1898, they decided to build more opposing City Hall. Okay, so they built one, and it was knocked down. Institutes of Architecture and Policies grasping at grandeur. And the architect Lenox, 10 years completed the Magnus Opus, officially opened in 1899, the largest city hall in North America, guys. The clock tower made it the tallest structure in Canada back then, almost 300 foot above Queen Street, that made striking vistas at the bottom of the bay. There's the lobby, beautiful, what looks like electric lighting. The lobby dominated massive glass stained windows. Another masterpiece of intricately glass stained dome at the former Montreal Bank. Check it out. So The old world covered up. And remember, all of Toronto was destroyed. How this thing escaped. She's not red coloured. She is on there. She is red. Some of it. Looks like Britain's buildings as well. So Toronto, same there, same MO there, same people, same power. That one was a colossal one, obviously, because it's the biggest, they say. And back to Vermont, the home of the stone that produced all of, well, a lot of East America's parent buildings. Okay, Hardwick stone was apparently from Vermont, and Vermont State House, same MO, beautiful, beautiful building, what they call Victorian, which the Americans would say that they was built in the Victorian era. The Vermont State House, located in Montpelier, the state capital of the US state of Vermont, and the seat of the Vermont General Assembly. Okay, it's a current Greek revival structure. It's the third building of the same site that was used by the state. So this is the third one. So 2 others were destroyed. In 1857, 1858, it was occupied in 1859. After careful restoration, the Vermont State House began in the early 1880s, led by curator Schutz and Friends of Vermont State House, a Citizens Advisory Committee. Anything about its destruction? So they renovated it. Okay. Just a bit of speed reading to get through some of this info. I don't mean to hurry, it's Christmas. So the current structure was 1828. They never had no stone in 1828 to build any such things in Vermont or anywhere, because it wasn't produced till after the Civil War of 1865. So it's the same builders, same MO, same thing. They all get sort of destroyed, rebuilt, destroyed. Some of them still exist, most of them. Even somebody brought up this beautiful one in I think it's the Minnesota State building. That's cracking too. But look at this, guys, in the oldest church in Boston. Dick sees an answer. Could more bodies be buried beneath the old North Church? So this is below the church. You've got old doorways, look, windows, excuse me, old red brick. Excuse me, my Skype's coming on, I should have turned it off. Boston City archaeologist Joe Bagley lay on the side in moist brown soil underneath the crypt of the old North Church, probing a tape measure into serpentine trails below by rats around a crumbling tomb. So have a look at that. Oh, look how thick that is there. Stone underneath. Okay, Boston City, crumbling tomb. I've never dug a site in Boston, and that didn't worry have to rat burrows. Bagley said, his mouth creasing into a smile. While rats have been expected in the dirt floor here, bodies were not. Around 1,100 burials recorded in the crypt between 1732 and the Civil War were placed inside 37 vaults that lined the brick walls under Boston's oldest church. But before the old North Church can begin, you need $600,000. But there's a huge tomb with thousands of people below it, guys, in Boston's oldest church. Something's been going on, eh? It's everywhere, guys. Look, everywhere. One of my subs contacted me about Australia, saying that, oh, I'm from Melbourne. He's saying that these buildings I see every day. This hasn't happened. These events haven't happened. We haven't got a mud flood this year. I said, haven't you? Well, I've got a good collection of Melbourne mud flooders, mate. Do you want me to send them? Yes, please. So I sent them. He said, yeah, I see these buildings every day. So I've asked him, cool, can you get me some photographs of them being built, please? Have you back. So, Sydney. Okay, the complete other side of the pond from America. Yeah, exactly the same buildings, exactly the same MO. Burned out, replaced, and they're the best looking buildings on earth. Biggest and best. This one, Sydney's Garden Palace, the most beautiful building you have never heard of. Check it out, guys. Okay, she's an oldie, but when exactly are they building this? One of my subs said to me, at this period, nobody would really want to go to Sydney. Why are they building it all? So there's a few of the palace, botanical gardens, 1879 to 1882, very, very early. And there she is now, the same skyline. And they had the exposition, okay, modelled on London's Crystal Palace. It was a purpose-built in 1879. Sydney's International Exposition was designed by James Barnett, okay, which is there. And it gives you some photographs, and it goes into the exposition, okay, and it tells you that they introduced electricity first in Australia, okay. So the International Exposition was groundbreaking insofar that it was the first of its kind to be held in the Southern Hemisphere, okay. And there's Barnet, and Sydney in the time was a sandstone and timber town with few buildings and an ornate palace. It's absolute bullshit. Look at this. And I've got more photographs to show you that that's not accurate at all. The Victorian equivalent of World Expo expositions, the World's Fair, were the highest of fashion at the time, and there's some links to take you to some extra websites. I feel the city would have been similar to the Olympics of 2000, very positive thing for Sydney, said Morley. For 7 months, more than 1 million people poured through the sprawling complex to marvel at the colony's prosperity. And what do you know? Exactly the same as every single exposition: Antiquitech, onion domes, obelisks. And that was one of the great attractions of the expositions, was to ascend the North Tower and Sydney's hydraulic lift. What date was that? That was early, they said. 1879. Okay. Wow, that is early. Hydraulic lift. Take you to the top of there. Okay. Botanical gardens. Fairground filled with bandstand stalls, entertainment, eateries and smaller exhibition buildings. Garden Palace was a centrepiece. All manner of inventions, technology, art, ideologies were displayed by local and international exhibitors. Sydney was pulled out all the stops and built the palace, same as every city, and it had raced again to beat the time of Melbourne, who also staged an exposition, and 2,000 men worked on the site day and night using electric light for the first time to complete the building in 8 months in 1876. They're using electric light. And look at the tech in here, the obelisks, electrostatic gatherers, and it's all gone except for the photos. But I mean, in that reality, they're taking her away, guys. The city was plagued by insecurities into the lead up to the event, with concern about whether the international transport, accommodation and water supply would be adequate for the visitors. Travelling into an infant city, you had 1 million people pour through. Isn't that unusual? Where did all these people come from? It's weird, isn't it, guys? Anyway, if you are here, please feel free to share my show out. Get some people over here, guys, and a happy Christmas to you all. We're not done yet. We're halfway through. I'm going to be about another 30 minutes or so. Want to go make yourself a cup of tea, cup of coffee. And after this, then it'll be Christmas Day tomorrow, so I'm going to be kicking back, catching up with you guys. Okay, and then I'll be back in a day or 3. Okay, so steam-powered tramway was installed to transport exhibitors, goers around the city. After the exhibition, the tramway network was expanded by 1905-06. The trams were converted to electric traction. I bet they weren't converted. I bet they already were. Oh, that one's steam powered though. Okay. But they're showing that, aren't they? I've got examples in Russia of electric or wireless trams. There's no wires going to them, like a dodging car touching something. Is any more that we can pick apart on here concerning any inaccuracies of historical narratives, except for there's too many people. Not really showing on there 1 million people, are they? But absolutely beautiful. And what do you know? So there's no, excuse my language at Christmas, there's no fuckery been going on at all, is there, people? Only the Crystal Palace in London and every single one in the world. When the fire was raging in the greatest strength, the sun had seen behind the burning palace. The sun was seen behind the burning palace through the haze of smoke rising to the horizon. Its crimson disk. The scene was the most imposing, as it was the most pitiful ever seen in the colonies, reported a paper in 1882, when the whole thing goes up. Like, not deliberately. No, nothing's going on. Almost everything inside went up in flames. The fire destroyed the 1981 census. Lands occupying records, travel services, Aboriginal artifacts, museums. Fuck a duck, excuse me guys. Isn't that convenient? All records of the time before taken out at that period. And that's what's left. Same as St. Louis, same as all of them. Chicago's. I got a picture of Chicago and his Ferris wheels, just like half a Ferris wheel as far as the eye can see, is taken out for the exhibition after the Great Fire of Chicago. It's just insane how all of humanity hasn't picked up on this. Come on. Look. They take out an entire area. There's a civilization that shouldn't have been built. There's no time to freaking build it anyway. Not going with the official narrative. And where's the people? Not that many people apparently. But as you can see, there's no people at that period. Look at the design. 1879, 1882. So in that one little narrative alone, being able to pick things apart flat earth British style, what have we found out? Getting rid of the census as well as architecture. Seems the libraries. Look, goes on. Pocket of Oz, Sydney. I'll give you the links if you're from Oz. I know a lot of my subs are. Maybe Max will catch this. I know he's into all this stuff. So, Botanical Garden is exactly the same. There's some more pictures of you. But we're going to dart on. I think that might be, is there the same link? No, it's different. There's the entrance. Wow. You are. Got rid of the census. All Aboriginal records. Wow, that's a big clue, that is. Dirty fuckers. We move on. Now we're going to have some music to go with the culture and the class and the colour. These were given to me last night by Captain Kirk. And we're going to have some... When that goes off, excuse the advert. Puke. So I hope you all enjoy your lovely food at Crimbo. I'm not going to be eating any meat. I'm not going to do it. Not Christmas dinner in. Not this year. I'm just going to have a nice salad sort of thing. Right. VM said, nice idea with the Mozart, but can we have it a bit louder? I don't want to drown me out, obviously. Okay, we move on. Atlases. This is stunning. I got 2 atlases to give you, a photographic journal and loads of other stuff as well. But this, for its colour and its beauty alone, it's heliocentric thinking. They show you a heliocentric model, but it's coded, Masonic coded and Jesuit coded, so we know where, who brings in all of this sort of thinking. It's a very evil organisation indeed. But let's have a look up in the sky. Ooh, what are we looking at? We're looking at motions of different objects in the sky, yeah. So that's sort of star trails, or the sort of the thinking of orbit of the shiny things up in the sky, luminaries. Okay, which won't help humanity whatsoever. Looking up there, guys. Yeah, I'm gonna save humanity. Looking up there. All right, that's where they want us looking. Not up there. They don't want us looking up there. Okay, they don't want us looking up there. They want us looking up there. They want us thinking up there. They want us thinking South Pole. They want us thinking up there. Anything they want us thinking, fucking don't think it. So, wow, look at this for juicy coding. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So they give you eclipsage. Any hyperion? Oh yes, that's perfect. That 400 times away and 400 times the size. Wow. Well, it's like a... Actually, isn't a percentage like a squillion to 1? Yeah, but it's real. Alright. Okay, because you say. Must be then. I bow to your superiority, quackademic. Fucking science, bro. So, I gotta get off all that. It's just puke, but it does come to some other stuff which is quite interesting anyway. But this sort of just make me feel nauseous. Yeah, that's it. We're spinning around like that. Yeah, on a water ball. Let's hold on. Wow. Moonshots. Cometage. Well, anyway, I know a load of my subscribers would absolutely love that. Oh, what we got here? That's new to me. There's a large landmass coming all the way down as far as California Island, which still is at that time because it hasn't connected because the mud flood haven't happened in Oregon. You know, when you come, so if you don't know this, West Portland, guys, there's just mud flats. Look into it, yeah, all the way to the sea. It's just crazy. It's just Oregon was a big hit place and connected. I think this and this, I do not know. Can't be the ice cap coming that far south unless there was some sort of ice age at this time, covering the Hyperborean as well, if it's indeed there. And a landmass down here. It's Australia, half of Australia. Oh, it doesn't look too iffy. I think a lot of these maps are just bullshit anyway, and I think that the maps that are given to us are just like with everything, just suggestions, post-diagnostic suggestions. What the shits is that? Whew. Skyscraper. In I-642. Year 642. If you're confused why I'm saying that, believe. And I'm not going on Flamenco's version because he's thinking from a different camp than thyself, because he goes on inaccuracies with eclipses, etc. But I don't do that. But there's definitely been picked apart. History done a good job yesterday, going on the dates of the Bible, etc. But I think they've added 1,000 years, guys, even 1,300, even more. I think there may be even a thing called overlapping years, where 100 years is actually stretched out, and it's 200 years and it's crushed into 100 years. Oh, fuck! I-667. You got a Tesla tower on a platform. Shit. Even if it was an oil pump, it'd be a biggie, guys. But like, wow. Happy Christmas, Paul on the plane. Happy Christmas, everyone. My Skype's going. Everyone's getting Christmassy and happy and buzzy. Antiquitech. Look at this, guys. What the hell? Is that an observatory? What's the... I bet that spins. It's like Joe Knighty. Look at all these wheels. Ah, it's an observatory. Is that Tycho Brahe's? It is. It's Tycho Brahe's observatory, guys. Oh, and he was a flatter. Well, he might have been. So he got killed. Copernicus. We done him, didn't he? I wasn't there, so I can't really say if it was definitely Copernicus, but that's apparently the narrative. So, poor old Tycho. See how I recognise Tycho Brahe's observatory out of all of the antiquity in the EM universe. I know I talk quick, guys, but it's the speed my brain works at, and I need to get a lot of info out. So that's pretty cool anyway. We're moving on. Enjoy that, but a lot of that is just like helio thinking, but it doesn't matter because it's beautiful. And we got a better one here, a colour atlas for you all to enjoy. Take a look at this star footage, and it's very, very early. See if Europe matches up to the scratch test, eh? Sniff test. Let's see if Europe passes the Flat Earth British sniff test for... No, it doesn't. So what's going on with Britain? Was ist alles that? Was is this? What's Curta? The fuck is Curta? Alright, let's say these are the Shetland Islands. Where's Wales? Where's my little country squashed? So alright then. Doggerland's flooded, but I wouldn't say it was long after. East Anglia's not there. It's maybe flooded. So the Shetlands and the Orkneys, Tildia and Orcade. And they got other writing as well. Bergen's there though, up in Norway. So Curta, I don't know what that is. And we got another Igua. I got a wicked map as well. I found another sort of map, but I haven't brought it up. Oh damn. Well, next time. And down to the Canaries, but they shouldn't be that far north. There's the Canaries. What are all these? Azores. It should be over there, further west. Alright then, they've squashed it all in. But that doesn't explain what Dokalui is. It's not Faroe Islands. Iguia and Curta is. And Titilda, north of Scotland. Nope, all new to me. So Insta did pass the Flat Earth British sniff test. And we have Tartaria, guys. Tartaria and Muscovy. And how far is it? West? Oh, it's that far west, where it was thought to have been. So Tartaria and the Russian and Blanca, the White Russia, and Muscovy. And the states of Linovia, Latvia, Lithuania, Estonia, which is I talked about in my last vlog. Let's see if Africa fits the sniff test. No pyramidage. Well, you wouldn't. Not at that stage. There's a couple of lumps there, but they don't appear to be pyramids. So no, that didn't fit at all. Stuff that's added, not on there. It's supposed to be. Have a look. Italy, okay. Too much detail. But this is old, beautiful. Wow, Venice, let's have a look. Oh, it's small. No star footage. I got a feeling that it wasn't always in the water. See the way this archipelago holds it in. It's like a big lake. Yes. I went to Venice, San Chioggia, port of Venice. It was good. So, Greeks. Another beautiful map of Greece, and let's have a look at their shippage. Nope. Just oars. So Troy's there, guys. Troja is still there, still up and kicking in Asia Minor, in Turkey. That's where Troy is supposed to have been. So when they discovered Troy in the 1980s, and they like find this massive site, and they have all British television programs like, oh, we're all geniuses, we just found Troy. Maybe they should have found this map, huh? I bet there's 1,000 things if you look closely with these maps, guys, to discover with. Okay. Corfu pendant. Candy. So, if you're in chat now and there's like a few of you, please share this out. Christmas greetings to you all. Peace and love. It's going to be epic next year. Very, very excited to be Flat Earth British peeps. Ooh, they got a crescent on there, but it doesn't mean that they're Muslims. It actually means that they're energy gathering. Because obviously Rhodes is not Muslim, being a Greek island. Roads again. All roads lead to Rhodes. Well, let's have a little look at that a second before I... Plenty of trees around, and they're all evergreen, and this is Mediterranean. There's a bit of antiquity there. Should be a few more palm trees. There's no palm trees. The climate's different. It's deciduous. They're all excuse me, evergreens. See, Palm trees. It should be palm trees. It should be more deserty. It's different. It's that Apello there. That's Syria. That's desert. Syria. Wow. The big city was whoa. Kalisa has a big resonator on its church, the highest point around, and that's not the religion they're into. Obviously that's not Christian cross, is it? No star forts anywhere in this book so far. Isn't that curious, guys? Is it too... What did he say? Do you see that then, guys, for sync? As soon as I mention it. Yeah, they got star forts. They got literally star fortage. Well, it's not very big, unless they're giants. They're bigger than the houses. Or is that just shitty drawing? Or have they really got giants to defend them? Let's have a look in comparison, these people. A lot bigger than the houses. So it's just they're putting them in bigger to show you, I suppose. I don't really know. It's so odd. But like I said, guys, they fought these who are living in tents. Yeah, and crappy huts inside, and they didn't build these star forts. They found them. They thought, well, these are handy for defensive purposes. We'll move in them. The elites can live out in like the sticks or close by in their villas, and we'll get tunnel systems that come straight to them. So, cannon. If they are ordnance type cannons, I have a feeling further back that they would have been something different. I think that the age of the cannon is also inaccurate. You know, the arrival in the Middle Ages, early Middle Ages, etc. I think we had it before. So, ooh, that's a good one. Oh, not much going on there. Star fortage. Oh, that one's good. Look at the cannons. They're weird, aren't they? Sort of side on. Fortenza. Fortenza. Margarita. Madon. Fortenza Madon. And Naples Fortenza is not a star fort. It is something else. What are these? Sort of really strange looking windmills. Even that aerial on there's got a ball on the end. What religion be that? And all mud inundated outside up to the towers, obviously. Some ongoing events through time. So, sweet maps, eh, guys, for Crimbo. Hope you're enjoying the show so far. Boom, boom. Ethylene, stainamine. So, there's a lot of stuff going on in the ports towards the Flat Earth community. Poor old John Morgile in stir. He's been banged up, apparently. What else has been going on? Oh, that's about it on the gossip front, really. So, not that I bother. But, I had to think of him in there. This time, brother. Anyway, positive thoughts. Anyway, what's that? What's that? Just a little star thought. Anyway, we're going to knock that in the head because it's pretty, but it's too much of it. We're going to move on. Because time is 6 o'clock. And I've got about 20 minutes left of this, half an hour or so, and then this is Christmas Flat Earth British vlog concluded. This is what I found the other day very interesting. I think that what happens on Flat Earth British is echoed in the mainstream. I've been following the British Library Manuscripts Department for maybe 2-3 years since I got into the history field, well, even before actually, and they've never ever released any Kirshner stuff. All of a sudden it comes up on my Google feed, even though, you know, related to my searches, I suppose. But they've released 90 manuscripts, and they're like trying to, do you know what we do? Like, we show you giants and everything else. Well, the mainstream are thinking, oh fucking hell, why have we done that? And they're starting to do it. Like, oh, it's such a mind blower, man. How can this giant be in Gaul fighting? You know, biblical creation to Julius Caesar, conquest of Gaul. 19 manuscripts of history of Asians. This one has got giants, or a guy fighting a giant, from 1330, they say. Okay, now I'll give you the link, and you can actually get the PDF from this as well. So it's the Sir John Ribalat Treasures Gallery, and you can click it and you can get a load of these books, guys. Fascinating, lavish illustrations, gigantic, excellent for Christmas. And this is the one we're looking at. So it's giants fighting peoples, like that one there. So they are well documented. Two guys with swords, and a giant with a red outfit on, and what looks like a mace. Okay, the duel between Hercules and Antilochus. Hercules' victory, last quarter of the 13th century. So, all Greek mythology, I believe, is not really allegorical for like a rite of passage. I think this shit went down. So, you ever seen that one with that giant on Jason and the Argonauts, when he's like made of metal and they undo a thing on his ankle like this with a spear? Hercules does. Takes the thing off his ankle and all steam comes out and he dies. He like just sort of breaks down. So battles with giantage. That's the Greeks and the Amazons. Ooh, I like Amazons. Well, Wonder Woman. And that is the army of the Queen, Persia and Lampido battle. So you can click that and get close-ups too. So it's an extra source for us. The British Library are being very, very, very generous here with 90 new medieval manuscripts showing giants, etc. So have a dig, guys, please. I'll link it up. Anybody find anything awesome, let us know, eh? I'll put my description, my details in the descriptions box. So it's this sort of thing, look. Early Christian and Angelage. All sorts. Really, really cool stuff from the British Museum. So I hope you enjoy. So it's worth a read. I'll get into that later. Ooh. Medieval manuscripts. And ooh, look at that. A dog biting somebody's got a face of a human on its back. 2, 3 faces. Allegory for them. Parasitical mind. It's a large tower on a boat. So is that the Ark? So medieval books, manuscripts are well cool, isn't they? Ooh, check that out. What sign's he doing? What's going on there? Fly the British. Yeah, I'm gonna watch that, Jesus. Don't go on YouTube doing that. So it goes on and on, guys. It's just amazing. Antiquitech. What's that one? Here, here's some information. Oh, thank you. Here, invent something. We'll give it to you. I wonder what that one is. Oh. We are the knights that say me. Now we want a nice shrubbery. Okay. Lizard creatures thingies there. Ooh. Don't know about them, mates. So if you're into historical subjects, this is golden, guys. I can't wait to go through this later myself. I should have gone a bit deeper. Colours are exquisite. Ooh, look at the age on these. That looks spooky. Who's that blood? I don't know, some of these though. I could watch the red ink like an orc. You never know. Oh, I've seen that one before. The mud flooding now. What's this? What's this? Crab. Scales. Upside down pyramid there. Irish. Oh, I could go on looking at that for ages, guys, but you know, time's getting on. So, I wish I'd found that map. This is credible. It's Almanac of Gotha, and it contains various and curious and useful knowledge. Okay, and the stuff in here is mind blowing. It's 1868, the dates. I don't want to go into it because there's too much of it. I'll link it up. Okay, because it's mind-blowing stuff. Once you see and read what it says, the penny will drop. So just please pick it apart. See if you can help find out anything important to this narrative on that. Right, this is a map that was passed to me. Another map. Oh, I hope I find that other map now that I wanted to show you. And apparently, so the sub tells me, although it's absolutely mint, it says on the top this is actually Herod's temple, Solomon's temple, excuse me, but it states that it's in Constantinople and not in the Holy Land. Okay. Apparently. So let's have a little look at it, because it's one of the most incredible mud flood things I've ever seen in my life. And it might not be the exact location as where they are. So you get always Antiquitech outside, but this thing here, the temple itself, is all below ground level. And you have like large, very large viaducts to take you in. And all of this huge wall here of Solomon's temple is the Wailing Wall of today, I believe. Well, some of them are huge megaliths. You get all of these other temples. And strange theatre type buildings, and you get a few aerials as well, strange aqueducts. This thing here is supposed to be Bible era, guys. It's a bit advanced, isn't it? Look at the steps going up to it. This is a cliff. Must be really big bloody people. And what you see is this is like a deep cavern all the way down, all the way round. No, I can't imagine this being like accidental. I think it's man-made. I think this being excavated somehow, but to that level, it must be giants or something. I can't imagine how that's being dug out. And around Solomon's temple exactly the same way, which is vast enough as it is. So let's get back to the top. The sub informs me, not the, he give me the translation. And he states that this states that it's in Constantinople and not in Holy Land. So maybe you can verify that, somebody. Okay. Temple of... I've seen this temple many times in different depictions. Strange map, stunning stuff. So I'm going to be linking it. Maybe you'll have a little scrutinise that yourself tomorrow. There's a lot on it, guys. A lot on it. Moving on. So I can only imagine how many of you are in chat now. So please, if you are, share this out, like this video or anything, and make sure to come back, click that bell. It's not working. I'm having loads of mail. Somebody sent me a video saying evidence of something really weird is going on with you, Matt, because they won't let me watch your videos, and shows me live on a video that they're just not letting him like. They're not. His subscription's been taken away the same day. It's just having a go. So this is the photographic collection. I promised you they got electricity being used, everything. It's 1900. It's expositions, universal, and the bloody pictures, photographs are stunning. So we'll go through a few. We're getting up to the end of this vlog now. And the exposition, this is all lit up at night, and as you know, it's all working on atmospheric electricity. All expositions were, up until probably this period. I can't imagine them going later. See all the light bulbs on it? It's been something to behold. So they built all of these for a very short period. All of this effort, apparently, and all of them are destroyed and gone. That looks very sort of Russian sort of subways, Moscow subway system, doesn't it? But in America. Beautiful, isn't it? So they build this entire civilization, apparently, of all of this beautiful stone, which is apparently, when you get to see them demolished, only plasterboard and plastered of shitty Paris, and all of this is fake as, apparently. But these marble, they look like marble. I just don't know what's going on. It's like we're looking at a parallel. Or they're just saying that they're the exhibitions, and we're looking at this greater empire and it still exists, like the mud flooders. Something weird. And they destroyed every single one of these crystal palaces. I just showed you Sydney, London. How does glass and metal burn? Maybe somebody could explain to me. Well, there's something in metal. It resonates. It conducts electricity. Lead. You could use lead as a joiner, as a putty for the glass, and that is already that also has purposes. And it could have glass, lead, or even crystal content, lead crystal in the glass, which will be different when the sun comes through. There's a lot of applications to glass and metal, guys. All that art in one place. Whatever was going on, and where did they find the money, the time and the people? 500 the population in Toronto at 1800's, 250,000. And they build all of this stuff in the meantime. In Toronto as well, excuse me, everywhere. Name a city. Pennsylvania, Philadelphia, and some of these smaller towns where they have a million people coming through. It's just... yeah, that's not an over elaborate lamppost at all, is it? Just to have a wire running up the middle of it. Right. We should have a look at that one again because it's Antiquitech-y. No, don't be doing Christmas bullshit songs, man. That is beautiful, whatever. There's a few people there. Wow. So I will link these. Obviously, you will not miss anything. They are beautiful. Oh, that's gone. Most of it was wood anyway. And this plaster of Paris. All that's left is the Eiffel Tower. Jesus. I just can't imagine all of the effort, all of these cities worldwide to build these things just to be there. That doesn't even look plaster of Paris. That looks like good stone, solid. We've seen something else knocked down. But these photographs from further back, another time, where they're just replicating fashions and styles, and we don't know what we're looking at. So I'll look at that again, sorry. Somebody smoking. You don't often see that in a photograph. Probably my first. I don't know if you noticed the windows on that then, guys. Look at all this technology. What's this doing? It's a replica of the Church of the Resurrection in Rome. Just beautiful art. But what about this thing here? Oh well. So, can't talk forever. 1900s. A lot of straw hats in 1900s. I gotta be honest, guys, the stuff does not look temporary at all. It looks solid. It looks like it's there. Look at that black smoke. See what I mean? This is the marine part for shipping. I've seen this before, but not from this view. She was on the riverbank. That I never knew. Very, very odd. Something haunting about it all. And I can't put my finger quite on it. The planisphere, that was introduced in Paris. Some more programming. So there's 98 of these, guys. I won't be able to go through them all. Look at that device. Let me see what that is for 1900. crane. Quite a big crane. Onion domes. Look at all of this up here. Metal. That's metal. It's not decoration, guys. This is technology. This is Antiquitech. We know this stuff mainly works. So vibrational quality science. What's all this black smoke again? Okay, what's that? So we look like there's smoke coming or something off the top of that. It could be even a spark. We're looking at I don't know. It's not very Tesla towery anyway. Don't know what it does, guys, but it is technology and it shouldn't be there. I'm not too worried about showing them these days either, are they? Stunning. So, hope you trust you're all having a lovely Christmas time anyway. I hope you all are. My love and my appreciation for this year is coming. A love bomb landing right by you right now. Look at this, guys. It's in Paris. You got a resonator on top. I guarantee you that's doing something. They're all over the Orient. Atmospheric electricity gathering device in plain sight all the time. And this thing here, the mother of it all, that was built as mothership aerial for Europe, I think. I don't know, but it was used as a television communications aerial at some stage, but it was built for wireless technology, I believe. The whole thing was probably going to power the whole of Paris, maybe Europe, who knows. So what's that then, guys? The Tesla Tower in a wooden building in 1900. Wow. So let's move on. Christmas Flat Earth British Post for this year. Triclonome, which is beautiful. I post about it constantly, but 100 photographs is quite a few. So it's all different. They just represent different countries, but I'm more interested in the technology. Like that. Anyway, enjoy, because there's too much to go through. I'll show you now. There's a lot to go through in this book. Expositions. If you don't know, look into my channel and the other channels I talk about them. It's a big part of the entire story. Okay? They don't fit. Something's wrong with it all. Technology that's out of the official narrative. They're all using atmospheric electricity, etc. and more besides. And the architecture don't fit. So I was coming to the end anyway. So cool. That'd be for you. Okay. And this is another book of photographs, and what they're showing you is palaces in Cairo and other antiquity in Egypt. And what you see is this building is a palace. It's can't really establish it's a mud flood from here, but of all the walls and all the debris and the wrecked tree outside it, and you see it everywhere. It's like it's all inundated and after the effects of an event. So is it just being built, this? Is it just finished? Or if something come along? Because there's no infrastructure outside, you see, and you're going to find it everywhere you go in this city, and no population. Okay, so if they just built the whole of Antiquitech Cairo and forgot to put the people in. There's a few people there crossing the road, but it's supposed to be millions of people. There's a few there, so it should be an inundated crowd. It's really absolutely crazy. So there's another photographic collection to go through, and you get these Italian mud flood type buildings, a lot of them as well, and they shouldn't be there. It's Cairo. Okay. Steps, Antiquitech, cymatic windows are beautiful in these ones. And there's a main thoroughfare in the centre of Cairo. As you can see, it looks like a Victorian prison. In fact, that's a wall. I think that would be a prison by the look of it. And obviously, for the centre of a Cairo in this late Victorian era, you don't get any people. And the trees have just been planted, as you can see, because the whole place is just brand new. Well, so brainwashing. Okay, this is a big clue. There's a link. Popular Society of Fine Arts. Art taught to people by projections. Art taught to people by projections. So they taught people by the use of posters. They're learning the people by posters. Okay, all of it's safe, none of it coded, none of it meaning anything. Okay, see your fingers? None of it meaning anything, except all of it. For the uninitiated, that would just mean nothing. To the people who know, that is brainwashing. And they've used it in posters all the way along, and this is actually telling you it as well. So we're coming to the end now. These are and the more proof that I think they were using balloons in the past. Aerial perspectives, and these are big clues, guys. All of the cities of America, I'll give you the link, and it will give you aerial perspectives early 1800s. So we should be able to see these buildings in situ. Okay, if they're real folk, if these are real. Okay, as I'll show you now when they load up. And then I got some snaps of the day. This is what I want to show you. Now Josh, who is Authentic Intent YouTube, God love Josh, he went in here and done vlogs, and somebody contacted me this week saying, oh, St. Paul's State Capitol building in Minnesota, 1883, another one, same MO, same story, but these are second to none, and you can get all American cities. They show you the buildings that we talk about, already built, like the State Capitol building. Well, I thought that was my name then, almost. But the important bit is you can go right down. I mean, right down. You see mud here everywhere, look. But they're not supposed to be building anything of stone for a start off. Not that much, but have a look at it, guys. Isn't it beautiful? Elgin 8th Street, and that is St. Paul, Minnesota, 1883. Now you don't only get that with these links, you get all American cities. That includes New York, that includes San Francisco, and they're all vital clues because, like I said, you can compare to see if these can be believed. Then the architecture should be there, yeah? Well, it is. Takes a little bit of time to load, excuse me. And we'll take your images of the day. I would love to be able to do shouts and stuff, but this is like, I think, an hour maybe post, my Christmas post for all my awesome peeps, which I'm really happy about. Beautiful. Oh, this is Philly, see guys, same thing. And look, it's a dirigible actually being shown on this case, a balloon, and early again. And this is an expositions, so we're looking at Philly's Centennial Exposition 1876. Now I've just showed you they're using static electricity in this era anyway in that book, which when you get to read it later you'll think, oh my god, what did he just give us? It is mind-blowing. I haven't read it all. I'm going to get back into that later in the year. I just wanted to give you Christmas good stuff. Now, exposition, they have ginormous, what? Crystal Palace. Or atmospheric. Let's find some aerials, big aerials, and that will be clear almost 50 years before the official narrative of it all, guys. Okay. And this is a good early one. Size of that exposition suite. Glass house. And the balloons. And the Tesla Tower. Lemon Hill Tower. So that's what's powering it all. most of it. Atmospherically, 1876, you've got zoological gardens, a coliseum, fire patrol, the police, photographic gallery. So there should be an abundance of photographs of fillies. Great exposition, and looks just the same as the London Crystal Palace. And guys, all of America is in them. Okay, in these vlogs. 1876. Wow, incredible. Okay, so enjoy them. I'm going to move on to snappages of the day, and then I'm going to go off and make something to eat. Stomach's rumbling here. Yeah, what an epic year, guys. Absolutely epic on YouTube. Everything else been pants, but YouTube's been awesome. Way to end the year. I've got my phone with me. Yes, I have. So yeah, we're getting very busy. I picked up a good few subscribers in the last month. I'm very happy about that. So let's keep it going. Please share this work out, guys. Share this, because what's to come next year is going to blow the doors off of reality. The paradigm's going to shift. History's going to change, and they're going to have to respond, because too many people now know. Can't, put the cat back in the bag. Can't put the cork back in the bottle when it's already out. Won't put my mouth. We've all opened our mouths. And he stood up. So I'm going to look at some various images. This is Celtic art. And she has some sort of what I would think is an acoustic device. It's got two sorts of bits up here, and it looks like it's got a handle or something that he would pluck and it would come out. Buildings erect in the background. He has a lot of leaf of control. So Tesla's electric oscillator, I've covered quite a bit. I've covered it before. I talk about his tsunami machine. I've talked about loads of Tesla technology, including the oscillator, and there it is. Apparently caused a earthquake, and did in New York, but that's all it is. And as you can see, the electric exhibits identical to an Egyptian Ankh, which we talked about in the Greatest Story Never Told. It's just extra proof. I am not actually sure, except for it's crazy alchemically coded. It's got a sword going into an orb, the cross. Oh my god, it's all in there. You got the Holy Grail, you've got the two shots, the scepter cross with the swords, active blood on the swords, and they're linked with the double laurel leaves, which show you that it's active, the sword going. This is the top of the orb actually. Date, don't know. But there's all dates here, so I gather this is Bible verses maybe, I'm not really sure. But crazy, crazy image. Right, so this is actually wires. So what is going on, I'm not actually too sure. Apparently this is taking wires in and putting them out into sort of an estate, but to that level. And what are they exactly doing? So the entire city is coming off of this thing, these wires. They're going everywhere. So experimental, I'm not actually sure, but crazy stuff. This was found in a Knights of Armour. It's basically an EM shield of some sort. There's a little door inside, and there's a skeleton of the knight still left inside. It's really old, but I can't imagine that hand ever being able to be bent. So something else is going on with knights. Some more beautiful Tartarian type, they call Tartarian type architecture in New York. Not many people around there. The Netherlands and the Savoy. Hula, which is also related to flat earth subjects, because they constantly show the place where we live. A man with loads of arms, a flying monkey, and a serpent in the water. Loads of strange things going on there. I don't even know. It's supposed to be a unicorn's horn made into a sword. They're presenting it as, but it could be a narwhal, admittedly. Narwhal's a bit of a blacker colour for an ivory. So it could be that they've that unicorns did live not too long ago. I've got evidence that they were being hunted and killed. So, the old style Tertullian tower being pointed out. Well, apart from this, I collected a load of shroppy images for the buildings. They're all really crap. Everything's covered in mud, even the pavements. And they got these strange poles. Wooden one there as well. And it's mud flutter. It's lower windows, older. And the devastation of the American Civil War, which was covered yesterday, concerning Richmond by UAP. Even the mechanism in this is gone. The buildings are gone. Look at the size of this masonry, guys. 1865. When did it go up? If it was demolished then, or blown up. So there's that strange Solomon shot. Apparently it's supposed to be Constantinople. Chicago. No, this one's Boston, or is it? No, Baltimore. This is Baltimore. And it's exactly the same scenario in Baltimore, I'm afraid. Okay, you see, he was completely torched, or something really bad happened. Looks like nuclear bomb damage, doesn't it? If they were real. This is another American city. Exactly the same scenario. Everything's destroyed. This is after the tourists go in looking around San Francisco after the events. Okay? After the events. Some of it is just touristy. This was shown by Sylvie from UF, concerning the Faceless Knight, which I constantly go on about, and this, which she presented a year or so ago. The lizardy thing, or the parasite that lives in armour. It's like a little worm. Or is it a wire? As in electronic. Are we looking at like robots? Because the Nazis did large developments in Das Robotics, and they had ideas to send large robots along across the battlefield. I'm just wondering whether that's not exactly a parasite, but like a cable. Like these things were mechanical robots. Who knows? But this is the Faceless Knight. It's got the same torso, but in this is a lizard or a parasite. So is that what's going on? That the knights were parasites? So more Greco-Romano in America, and everything shitted up and empty and mud flooded. So we've got dates in the Colosseums over the doors, and we can examine the Colosseum. They have steel here holding it all together. LV11 500. So they're saying it's Middle Ages. 500. Might be wrong. Else 500. V5 2. So it's 500 and 507. Anyway, it points towards it being in the Middle Ages existence and not in 2,000 years ago. Bullshit Rome, because the dates still over the doors. Just a cartoon. You've got an axe and this wooden man. He's got his 2 and 2 equals 4 brainwashing the kids, and he's got like this little log thing which he's holding like a fasciste. Somebody sent me. And this. The way to get around in Middle Ages Europe is on your hoverboard, apparently. Or is it water? Or is it a bridge? Or is it something completely different? Are they floating? Are they levitating? Just odd. Again, more devastation. And it's exactly the same MO. Is the streets are empty, clear of rubble, as you can see, like Hiroshima, and the buildings, which are a specific type of architecture, all gone. Okay. And that one is also in America, I believe. Okay, I think that one might be... Actually, I think that one's Europe somewhere, I'm not really sure. This is more mud flood evidence of clearing after events. This is all blown up, but if you look, there's all lower walls and lower levels. I know it's an old photograph, but it's really, really old actually, and it's not showing up clearly, but it's Paris. And an antiquity site in Egypt, and this is ground level, and it's all below ground level. Okay, they're sort of camping out in there. And the ground level's here, so it's below ground level. Okay, so people living lower down. Now, this was sent in by the kind German doctor who is doing a thesis on mud flood for his PhD, and he's using Flat British associated channels for his sources. So there's a bicycle on this old Celtic style cross, double torus opposing two dragons, electromagnetics, swastika, oh, not really, but it's a spiral nevertheless, but an electric bike and two opposing things. So this is apparently also a tusk of said creatures of old that don't exist anymore. You can see the porous, it definitely looks like it's from something living. But what's all this? What's it made of? I haven't got more info about it, guys. I'm sorry, I just thought it was a really unusual photograph. So this was off the dock again. Place where we live, a horse, and two pointy faced beings. See if we can get closer up with that. Happy Christmas all. So a 2-hour vlog. Are you going to watch that? Yeah, two long-nosed people rubbing noses because they exist. Okay, and we move on. So, would that make sense? Clara Hitler being a double, or really resembling Angela Merkel. Angela Merkel, who was in the very same classroom, mind you, class, they always are, as the Ukrainian Prime Minister. That lady. Yeah, they were in the same class. So they're all in the same club, you see. So it would be not out of the bounds of possibility if old Angela Merkel, who is German Chancellor, is a definite descendant of Adolf Hitler. Take a look. And excuse me. More. We have more of these. Just a usual Thulas or Rosicrucian or Thula movement of the Germans Nazis. You know about all of that, but look what they're carrying. So they know it's the shape of the earth. World War II, over the pyramids, and nothing on the Giza Plateau at that period is excavated at all. So I do not know, but it's pretty. So a sub sent me in this and said, look at this, for it's all in there. You have a comet, you have two opposing toruses. Here it's sort of everything's in balance in an old world depiction on a plane for a plate. It's all in there, so rather beautiful. Good thought, thank you for sending that. And a knight sort of thing. So it's really pretty anyway. Nice plate. Oh, and the doctor from Germany sent me in these. Antiquitech, and it's an anchor, but it's very far inland. This is got like a steel thing on it, but we haven't got a clue what device it is. But he's saying that, like, he's not saying anything at the moment. I hope he's going to fill me in with what this stuff is. And these were taken yesterday, or sent in yesterday. So they're grotesques, some of them. Some cherubim, some grotesques. So this is all, what you're looking at here, guys. I can't say what exactly it is, but we're looking at old world stuff that survived. And these are Jesuit, that's one he sent in, but I got a collection of Jesuit churches. It's made of marble. Something really strong. And eagle, wings open. I don't know what he's given me here, but place where we live. It's beautiful. And here's this strange map, and it's, let me reduce my sizeage so you can see the whole thing. Excuse me. Okay, so it's not really showing up. I can't really get my bearings. I have got this really crazy map. So what you got here is Norway, right? You've got Bergen, Okay, and there's that strange land which they called whatever in the last map, so it's sort of Shetlands. What is the pyramid? Are we looking at the pyramid actually in the Hyperborean? Because there's a pyramid here, if you can see. Do you see it? Or a diamond, and it's just north of, unless that's Svalbard. It's too far south. So it's something that's opposite Norway and Bergen. So it's not the Shetlands. It's not there anymore. It's not the Orkneys, but it could be. And you got this diamond. That's Greenland. That's Iceland, or Ireland, excuse me. Don't know what that is. So I got the whole of that map. I should dig it out before the end of the vlog. So these are Jesuit churches, and the effort. Oh no, this is the doctor's one. You went in yesterday. Ooh, atmosphere in her. And mud flooded Rome, with its wrecked everything that is not ready, actually being dug out just yet, because need Mussolini to get them in action in the 30s. So Jesuits in their churches have all masterworks in the ceilings and everywhere else. Come on, don't be a swine. A few more to show. Excuse me. So just freezing up a second. There's only a couple more pages to go. Now I'm going to have a little hangout or two this week, guys. Keep an eye out. I will give you plenty of warning before anything goes live. Ooh. Okay. Excuse me, it's not going through. Everything's just froze up. Give it a minute, it'll be alright. I've got too many good shots to miss, to not persevere. So, come on. Let me refresh it, guys, if I can. I can't. Something's happening. Right at the end of my vlog, it all freezes up. Excuse me. So before I go, because there's going to be a few of you, if there is, please make sure to share this out. I'm going to refresh because everything's gone to shit. I'm still there. No, I froze. Doom de doom de doom de doom doom de doom de doom doom. 6:45 on Christmas Eve. It's Christmas Day tomorrow, and I will be. You'll be all watching this probably and enjoying your cooked dinner, whatever you have on Christmas. I'm glitched up. Excuse me. We are on. Okay. Excuse me. So, I don't know, it's in Scotland, but it's a strange old building with a thatched roof. Excuse me. Whatever is going on? My mail just come up. Don't want that, do we? So, excuse me. Let me go back. And to the rest of my images. So, like I said, they show you all of the cities in these bird's eyes, so they're up there in a balloon because you can't get all this down from your mind. Nobody can do it. Okay, so they're up there doing this. Okay, they're not from clock towers. That's the highest point. This is again Thula. This is apparently a graphite radar tower that was sort of thought about in the 1920s, and happens to be a pyramid. The looting of somewhere or other, and then nicking or stealing all of the menorahs and stuff. That's a nice picture. Oh, I'm going to be going into these soon. There's the Colosseum, but it's still full of mud, and there's a thing like an obelisk inside. Unfortunately, I can't bring it up. Minneapolis. Exactly the same. You can mag straight up on these things. It's all in that link that I showed you, and this one as well is a great honest Washington. Have a look at Washington. So you can compare the architecture. It's finished 1865, but you can see what is there, and you can check if you can trust that. That might help. And there's another aerial perspective in American City. That one we looked up at the Great Exposition of Philadelphia. And a mud flood city. I'm not sure if that's Tomsk. It's not the one I showed last time. OMC could be Omsk. But there's a lady on a duckboard and everything is very below ground level. Think about this with mud flood, guys, a second. In the building of all the railways and roads in Britain, right, when you go into a railway station, there's these great sidings like that. You go through tunnels and there's like literally like hundreds of thousands of tons of earth that has been moved out of these great caverns they make for the railway lines and the motorways in Britain. Where did they put all the mud for that? I just wonder, you know, do they spread it around over fields? They make more land? They ship it out? What did they do with it all? Look at over just Britain itself, the lines, the railway lines, all of that was excavated. And where did all that go? As well as all of the mud flood. So this is the lane of Paris underground, but I think that these were already there. I've talked about them quite a bit. I think all of the undergrounds, New York, Paris, London, the first and the deepest, and Moscow, Rome, all of them, all happened mid-1800s, all the same time. The whole world is not happening. Don't know. Beautiful old wall there, an old steamship. And that is another stroppy image. I can't remember what town that is. But there's not much happening. More Thule stuff, which is coded with the place where we live. Greco-Romano temple. Wall. Or wilt. Looks small. And more of this Thule stuff and more destruction. See, there's I don't know if you've ever seen this, but inside the Colosseum in Rome is a load of Native American teepees and Indians. So I'm not sure if they had like the Wild West show staying in the Colosseum, but at this stage there's Indians staying, or Native Americans, excuse me, staying in the Colosseum. It's really weird. So, move on. Strange Antiquitech device. More of the Colosseum. In the Victorian era, as you can see down below ground level, there's more walls. So, the perversion of the symbol of the swastika has been used by the Aztecs, the Greeks, the Hindus, the Celts, the Hopi, excuse me, the Chinese, the Japanese, the Icelandics, and the Tibetans. Egyptians, Assumas, Peruvians, and Indians, and Turkish, because all cultures know the place where we live, except for Western philosophy, which is ruled by all sorts of nefarious, dodgy, psychopathic sorts, but not for very long. It's all coming to an end. All in places, you can see them. Crete, ancient swastika, and the Minoan pottery. So they're just taking it and they perverted it. So that's a Victorian woman, okay? The clarity of the photograph. Apart from that, she's exceptionally beautiful, so I thought I'd show it as a Christmas gift. Beautiful. Scottish Church in Mancy, in Adura Island. So it's really old for a Scottish island. I don't know. More destruction of a certain type of antiquity, and Singer building, which was the oldest in the world. So you got one of these red granite buildings in America, all the mud flooders, the windows are blocked up down the bottom. What I did notice was this massive big aerial here. Okay, there's no cars on the road because it's trams. You can see there, no cars, too early. Late 1800s, what's the massive aerial in a mud flooded street? Do not know, pass to me, but we'll have a look. They look real enough. Don't know, guys. These are stereoscopic, so I have many, and they show all different wars, theatres of war, and this is like basically World War II, machine gun emplacement. There. stereoscopics are stunning. Colosseum, when it was a rack and ruin, crap slum of a place in the recent past. So when we go with this knight, he's standing on a little dog's head and a little lion's head, because he likes being cruel to animals. What does it mean? I do not know, but it means something. So more giants in silks, because I think giants are really cool. And these ones seem hyperborean, they seem really gentle, beautiful, and she's all in silks and everything. So there's evidence in my mind they existed. More Rome, really old. That is Richmond, Virginia, and as you can see there's nothing left. Richmond, Virginia, this one I found on a separate site in Shroppi. Quite a telling shot for cannonballs doing this, but this is alright here. Nothing here though. What were they using, guys? What were they using? America again, with the existence of Rome, or Greco-Romano temple. I took that because it's basically of the age, and there's a giant aerial, which could be a flagpole, but not this one because you got the ladder up it. You see, American Civil War. He's got an aerial, but there's just like a ball thing on top. I don't know what kind of lamppost that is either, with the eagle on top. Check it out. Eagle on top of the lamppost. Atmospheric. Richmond again, and they got a Greco-Romano temple. And another little Colosseum. And they did. So I want you to look at this. This is what I want you to look at is the Star Fort on the peninsula. It's an amazing Star Fort. Keep looking up. That Star Fort there. Can you see it? No, that one. Oh. No, it'll come up now in a minute. Yeah, that one. No, that one. Oh. Well, we'll get there eventually. Okay, the Star Fort's there somewhere in Infinity. Okay, sorry about that. And once more we can look at how cruel the globe is. I know. Now before I go, because everything's getting busy out there, and it will tonight because it's Christmas Eve, I want to show you these. Excuse me, got passed to me. I can't read them out, there's too much of it. Read all this, guys. You can see all this. It's about the human torus. Look how the caduceus fits with the human body. Our torus field body. Okay, and electromagnetics. It shows you how a magnet works. We've gone through all of this on the greatest story never told, to the human body. There's no mistaking this stuff, guys. We are so much more electromagnetic waves of the body and their polarity. Okay. Now we're going to go into this a lot more next year, guys, and turn all our lives around. We're going to turn reality on its head. We are going to be rocking. This is going to be epic stuff. And as you can see, the human body is 100 completely toroidal system. It's just absolutely mind-blowing to that extent. Okay, and that anomalous ship and some mud flooders sent in from, I've shown them, from New York City and them. Okay, that's it for me. Happy Christmas and Happy New Year. I will be back this week. I'm going to take a day or two off Christmas, chill out with my kid, and eat is what I'm going to do. Don't do much else. Thanks for this year, guys. I know how much effort it has been to stick with me through ups and downs and all those different states I've been in. But we have achieved quite a bit this year, and we're a lot more forward. Okay, we've discovered a lot. Next year. Peace and love, guys. Please feel free to subscribe if you're not already, and make sure to share this out. Now I have a second channel, Flat Earth British Filtered. I'm going to put that in the descriptions box. Take a look. There's quite a bit of stuff, and I'm going to post some stuff in the next couple of days on that as well. Extra events and radio shows that I've been on there to keep you all busy on Flat Earth British's stuff and content, of hours of stuff and content to put out there. That's my effort for the day. What have we looked at? We looked at the Royal Navy using atmospheric electricity on this first ever screw ship, which was the Defiance. Okay, and it was electrically lit from the get-go. Okay, we looked into Brunel, and we looked into mud flood buildings half a path down in the road and what they think of in Copenhagen, evidence for all the other cities, maps and photographs to end the day. I hope that kept you entertained on Christmas. I'll be back very soon. I got a lot more. Be good. Peace and love, and like I said, have a happy time of it. Okay, lift the vibration, keep it up. They hate it, so what are we going to do? Lift the vibration.